The end of May brings here in Vermont something that is known as Turnout days. The day in spring when the cows are released from their winter barns to graze in fresh green pastures. Many farms invite the public to watch this event, and it is described by many an old weathered farmer as one of the most joyous days of the year. The cows often buck and run awkwardly and eagerly dive into the fresh green grass. But those greener pastures, either for the cows or for us, usually come with a heavy dose of messy, difficult manure. That is the work that we have to do to get through and navigate to see the rewards of the greener pastures. I've had a season of too much manure in my life, buying into the lie that I can have it all. But what if having it all means not having it all at the same time? We all need the joy of a turnout day, the day when God finally sets us free into the green pastures that we have been desiring. But the path to that pasture, I have discovered, is often a downward one that requires us to let go of all the things that we hold on to. Richard Rohr once said that much of our life is spent feeding our ego, looking for validation. But there comes a time when we must let go of ego. There comes a time when we have to feed our souls by doing the things that truly matter. My friends, I have finally found some peace in my life, and I think I know my next step that I'm going to take toward my green pasture. And it's a step that came in the most beautiful, unexpected way, as only God can work in our lives. It's a step that will lead me to the who I want to be right now. So my friends, I can't wait to share with you what's been happening lately. Welcome to the farm. The other day, I was cleaning out a closet and I came across this box that held within it a lot of my old essays that I wrote when I was a young student at the Fashion Institute of Technology. That is where I did my undergrad work, and I was getting a degree in advertising and communications. And I haven't seen this box in years, so when I opened it up and I came across this essay I wrote about how women can't have it all, I was like, whoa, wow, I have to sit down. Now, mind you, this was in the late 80s when really the message for young women was you could do everything. You can succeed in the career world. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And here I was, 18 years old, writing this essay that really was very prophetic, because I was saying back then at that young age that no, you cannot have it all. That is all at the same time. There will be stages in life where you will be in the working world. There will be times in your life that perhaps you will be the housewife. But to think that you can have it all at the same time, that is unhealthy. And we have to come to that understanding that in life, there will be moments that we live and stages that we enter into, and those stages will change, and that's okay. As I was doing some research for an article that I'm writing, I came across this saint, and I'm looking at my laptop right now, and he's a relatively modern saint. I usually love the saints from like the 1300s or earlier. So I was surprised that this one was more of a 20th century saint. Saint Paisios of Mount Athos. I'm probably mutilating his name. Saint Paisios of Mount Athos, and he was from Greece, and he cautioned against spreading oneself too thin And now we've always heard about that too, right? Don't take on too much. Multitasking is overrated. You can only focus on one thing and one thing at a time. But Saint Paisios, he framed it in a spiritual context because he said by completing one or two tasks at a time with a calm mind, that is how you do not compromise your spiritual focus. He said, taking on too many activities, it only leads to anxiety. And I have been very anxious, my friends. I've shared that with you. And it also leads to anger. You start to get mad at the world, like just all the things that are being demanded of you. And many of those things that are probably not even real demands, but just ones that we place on ourselves. But I never heard the push for focusing on one thing at a time placed in a spiritual context. My spiritual focus is what matters the most. So when I came across that essay, I couldn't believe it, that you can't have everything at the same time. And I've spoken to you before about feeling this divine discontent. It was a pastor many years ago who shared that with me when I was going through some discernment. And she said that what you are feeling is this discontentment with your life. And it's divine because it is the Spirit troubling the waters, getting your attention through the uncomfortable feelings so that you can open your eyes and see where God is leading you. But this time around, I don't think what I'm feeling is divine discontentment. Rather, I've come to the realization that what I'm feeling is divine disconnect. I've been feeling very disconnected from the world and from myself. Who am I? Where do I belong? So when I came across that essay in which I wrote, you can have your career and you can have that white picket fence. You just can't have it perhaps at the same time. And that's okay. Because one dream, one goal, whatever you want to call it, always compromises another dream and another goal. It's very rare that all of your dreams and goals can live happily together. And I know that someday, this is what I wrote, someday that white picket fence will be mine. And it was really prophetic because that was 40 years ago now. And I had my career. And not only did I have my journalism career, my magazine editorial career, but then I had a second career and I became a pastor, going to Princeton later on in my life, Princeton Theological, and being ordained. And then I led churches and then I found myself back to being a writer. But being a homemaker, I never truly embraced. So these past few weeks, I've been finding great joy all of a sudden being a homemaker. And it has brought me peace, so much so that I said to my husband, I know what my next step is going to be. And he was like, what? He was like, okay, what career are you going to have now? And I said, I'm going to be a homemaker. And he just laughed. And because the reality is, sadly, we need two incomes. I can't just walk away from my job, but we need two incomes. And that's a whole other commentary. I do really feel that the breakdown of the American family, of how to have a home that nurtures children, I think that is at the heart of many societal ills. I mean, when was the last time a family actually sat down to the dinner table and ate without any distraction, without any cell phones or technology, whatever it might be? When was the last time a family sat out on the porch on a warm summer's evening listening to the crickets? These are things that I used to do as a child and things that I still do as an adult, even though I don't have children. And these are the things that feed my soul. So at the heart of our struggling, I think it's because we just don't take a step back and nurture our homes and our families, nurture our own souls. So it doesn't matter if you no longer have a family, if they're all flown the coop and you're in your retirement years, you can still nurture your home. You can still be that homemaker. You still can create a sense of peace right where you are, your own little haven, a place to escape. And it doesn't matter if your house is big or small, or if it's your dream home or it's not your dream home. Heck, it could be a place that you hate. If it is a place that you hate, I encourage you to find one little nook, one little thing that you can do to transform it to a place of joy, and do it. Be it a vase or a pitcher and fill it up with flowers and just place it on a table and just focus in on that beauty, or light a candle and focus in on that light. So wherever you might be, you can create a little corner of joy, and you can imagine where it is that you want to be, or just simply give thanks to God for where you are. And this disconnect in myself was perhaps my soul trying to find that connection back to that dream that I have yet to fully fulfill of being a homemaker. So no, I cannot leave my regular job. We do need the two incomes coming in, but I am now weaving more time in my schedule to be that homemaker, to really enjoy making this place a place of peace for all who enter in, be it my husband, my friends that come in, or my cat, or my dog, whatever, and the chickens. Sometimes if the door is open, they will hop on the porch and try to get into the house. We cannot have that. That stretching ourselves too thin can really compromise our spiritual focus. I know that sounds so apparent. I'm not telling you anything new, but yet it's often the very simplistic things that we need to hear once again. If you're feeling that divine discontentment, no, it's the spirit that's troubling the waters to lead you where you're supposed to be. And if that divine discontentment is more like divine disconnect, know that you will be grounded once again. And that grounding will come when you let go of a whole bunch of things and you really just focus on what your heart is telling you. I am still in awe how my 18-year-old self reached through time to speak to my 59, almost 59 years old. In June, I will be 59. How my 18-year-old eyes wanted to open up my older eyes to see my next step. Now, mind you, that essay I wrote back in the late 80s as a student at FIT about how women can't have it all, not all at the same time, I did get reprimanded by the professor, who was quite concerned that I actually voiced that. And of course, she was saying, that's not true. Women can do all things today. Yeah, I did get reprimanded. But where has that wanting to have it all and to strive according to the world's goals, where has that gotten society? Where has that gotten each one of us? Where has this gotten the world? It's gotten this world in a really bad place. Why don't we just let people be who they want to be and not judge them if they choose to take a path that isn't a grand path? If they choose perhaps to take a path that people look down upon. No path is better than the other. Be who you are meant to be. And wherever you are right now, continue to create a place of nurture for yourself. I better get going. it looks like it is going to have some thunderstorms, and I'm looking out at my garden. I always wanted my garden to be placed right in shot of the window here in the kitchen so that I can sit here and gaze out at it. And what I'm seeing right now is a lot of rhubarb, a lot. So I think tonight for dinner, I'm going to make a beautiful rhubarb pie. So as always, thank you for coming to Old Stonewall Farm, and thank you for sitting here with me. Even though I did not clean up for my morning chores, it has been a blessing, and I can't wait to see you again. And yes, by the way, this is the first time ever I did not run around before inviting you to sit down with me to clean up and hide all the technology. Yes, this is my husband's iPad that he likes to read here at the table. So it replaces the hard book. I still like hard books. But yep, this is the first time I didn't run around cleaning up for you. That's how much I cherish you as friends. So until next time, God bless.